I want to debunk once and for all this myth about white privilege. If you live in a first world country, particularly the United States of America, the land of opportunity, then we all have privileges. The benefits of being born in the 21st century are that you are not necessarily held down by the social class in which you were born in. Although if you compare America to England, you cannot necessarily buy social class among the royalty because it's truly been passed down through successive generations. But in America, you can start out as nothing and certainly work your way onto something. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, or whatever. We have millionaires and even billionaires of all different colors and all different backgrounds. So the person who invokes the myth of white privilege is really only pandering to the white sympathy. And so the only thing left to say is I'm going to quote the great Tony Montana from Scarface. The best scene in the movie, and it's one of the funniest scenes, is between Tony and his wife, so Al Pacino and his wife, and it's funny as hell. They're both high on drugs in the restaurant full of rich people. Of course, Tony's a little bit richer. They don't know that, what he's rich for, but he's a drug kingpin. He's got millions and millions of, the government would say, illegal funds. And he's got all these bodyguards around him, and so they're just looking at him a certain way. And so Tony and his wife are having this big meltdown, this huge argument. You know, they're both high as hell. And he's talking about how she's polluted, her womb is polluted, I can't even have a kid with her. It's hilarious. So she storms out and she leaves Tony. And everybody's looking at him a certain way. He doesn't even have to look around him. He just knows, he can feel it. They're looking at him. And so finally he breaks the silence. And he starts off calm. And he's like, what are you looking at? Huh? You all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know that? 'Cause you don't have the guts to be what you want to be. So you gotta point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what does that make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide. But me, I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So say goodnight to the bad guy, 'cause you're never gonna see a bad guy just like this again, let me tell you. And it's so true about these other people that have no balls to be what they want to be. And so their whole lives, they go through their lives blaming the system, as if the system is keeping them there, that they don't have the freedom to make changes. And it goes not just to the minorities, but there are a lot of people blaming somebody, whether it's the white man or the government or whatever it might be, or your neighbors or your parents. You gotta stop blaming people and grow some balls and have the guts to be what you want to be. If an immigrant from Cuba or anywhere else wants to come to this country and they can do that like Scarface did and like all the immigrants that came here did, alright, then anyone born here that has those privileges, you gotta stop making excuses and go get your shit.